Okay, this is Ken Jackson of UrbanCNY.com, and I'm speaking with Onondaga County Executive J.Ryan McMahon, and we're going to talk about the state of Onondaga County and some of the challenges that are facing us. Well, thank you for sitting down and speaking with me.
Good to see you again, Ken.
Well, first question, what is the toughest challenge facing Onondaga County government today?
So if you look at how we function as a government, right? And I'm not saying that this is necessarily the largest issue facing the community, but county government, we're our own operation. We're a $1.4 billion operation, and we have over 3,400 employees, and we do 30 different things. So when you look at our ability to work on our core functions, the biggest challenge is really the uncertainty and the behavior out of Albany. To give you an example, in this last state budget, there's state politicians that are saying, oh, this budget does this and that. They're all very good things. Here's what it did to county government. It intercepted our federal Medicaid funds, which will be $14 million a year to Onondaga County, our budget. They raised wages for attorneys in the assigned counsel program, but then only are covering half the bill. So that's another $4 million potentially. And there's things that are happening legislatively that, depending on how they shape up, could be more pressure on us fiscally. So what does that mean for us? We've had 3 or 4 really strong fiscal years, and that means we get to invest back into people, into neighborhoods. We get to look at challenges like lead paint in old housing stock and put lots of local dollars behind it, whereas before we never could. But if the county governments are going to take a $15 million hit from Albany in our own budget, that means we're going to have to focus in on our core services. So some of the macro level problems that are in our community, we won't be able to play the type of role we've played in the past.
See, where are we with Micron?
Things with Micron are good, right? This is kind of the good news of everything, is that we have this amazing opportunity, this amazing anchor tenant that is coming into our community. Last week I was in Boise and spent time there with Mayor Walsh and Mayor McLean of Boise, really understanding how Micron works with the local community there, and I was very impressed. And so when you think of Micron, we're really thinking about it in 4 different ways. One, the site. Getting the site properly prepared, going through all the environmental reviews at the state level and at the federal level, so that we can start construction in 2024. Second is workforce, making sure that we're developing the workforce partnerships where we're creating talent, more engineers and PhDs, where we're working to create the pipeline for more technicians, and where we're thinking about this as a 20-year project where young people in our schools are getting prepared for being future Micron employees. The third is supply chain. These aren't Micron jobs that we're just talking about, 9,000 of them. We're talking about all the companies that do business with Micron or that have tools in the facility that help make that fab or make that microchip. Those companies got to come here. So right now we're actively pursuing all these companies in the semiconductor industry to co-locate here with Micron. And that's a lot of work, and I'm doing a lot of traveling all over the country right now trying to get that, because that means more jobs and more opportunity for our residents and for people to come to Central New York and come home to Central New York. And the fourth one we spend a lot of time on, and that's planning for the community. Planning for a community that's going to be larger. Making sure that we are investing in new housing and all of the above housing strategy. When you think about affordable housing, senior housing, right? Because the more senior housing you develop, seniors can sell their own homes, live in the same communities that they've helped build, and stay in the neighborhoods, right? And that frees up housing for the marketplace, which is underbuilt right now by about 10 to 15%. That's why we're seeing the prices go up so fast. When we think about transportation, how are we going to move around the community and make sure that we get people from our core to the economic employment opportunities that aren't always in our core, right? When we think about greenways and blueways, continuing to invest in our parks and in our water, making sure people have access to it. This quality of life we have here in Central New York is second to none. And that's a lot of the reason why Micron chose here. Because when you think about companies, they're all about workforce, developing it, recruiting it, and retaining it. So to retain workforce and to recruit workforce, you have to showcase the strong quality of life aspects of a community.